Welcome to eTeach. In this session, we will learn the acceptance testing. Acceptance testing. The name itself specifies that the user has to accept our system. So at the end, the user is the person who has to accept or reject our system. So in this case, it is better to involve the user and test our product. Acceptance testing is the formal testing conducted to determine whether the software system satisfies its acceptance criteria and to enable buyers to determine whether to accept the system or not. At the end, it is the buyers who will accept our system or not. In that case, we will ask the end users to come and test our product. This is carried out by the end users. This test is primarily focused towards the users. Whenever we see about the term acceptance, it is the user who should come into our picture. The developers team and the customer should work together. In this case, the developers team and the customer should work together to come out with the outcome. Acceptance testing, the entry criteria is that the system testing is complete. Your complete system is ready, unit integration function system, the testings are done. We have to prepare an acceptance plan. The test environment for acceptance testing is available. So involve the users, so the environment, so that the users, developers and testers sit together and prepare. Exit criteria, acceptance decision, whether yes or no is to be made for the product. Warnings, if any, are to be notified to the development team. If there are any concerns, those have to be notified to the development team. That comes out to be the exit criteria for acceptance testing. Acceptance testing, we have two categories here, alpha testing and beta testing. Alpha, beta testing. Alpha testing, the tests are conducted at the developer's site. The users are brought to the developer's site. The test environment can be controlled by the developers to some extent. So users and the developers sit together, the testing mechanism is done. The end users use the product. If there are any concerns, he will report then and there itself. That comes out to be the alpha testing. Beta testing, the tests are conducted at the customer's site. So we will release the product to certain class of users. At times you would have seen certain products with beta releases. So those beta releases are the products that are released to familiar class of users, so that if there are any concerns, will be brought to the notice of the developers. Tests are conducted at the customer site and the development team does not have any control here. There will be no test environment. So we will release the product to the customers and they will use the product, test the product. So that is beta testing. Alpha testing, customer is brought to the developer site where the test environment is controlled by the developer. Beta testing, product is released to the customer site and the developer will have no control on the test process. So two things. Alpha testing gives confidence that the software is in a suitable state to be seen by the customers. So when the customers see it, he will have certain confidence that my product is ready so that I can use it. To find the bugs which can only be found during the operational conditions are identified in the alpha testing. So only there are certain bugs which would be released or which could be seen only in the operational conditions when we are using it. So performance issues, if any, will be discovered at this stage. Performance such as the speed, accuracy, etc. Those can be identified or discovered at that corresponding stage. Together, the testers and the users perform this testing in a controlled manner by the testers. The testers ask the users to do certain categories in a controlled environment which is created by the testers. Alpha testing, the exit criteria is all the features are complete and testable, then only we will start testing. The entry criteria for acceptance testing, when all the features are satisfied, all high priority bugs are identified, 50% of medium priority bugs are fixed or verified. So all high priority bugs, they should absolutely be satisfied or corrected. At least 50% of the medium priority bugs are verified. All features have been tested on primary platforms, then only we will go to the alpha testing. Performance has been measured and compared with previous releases, then only we will go for alpha testing. Usability testing and their feedback is considered, and all the test sites are ready for installation. So those test sites are referred to alpha sites. Those test sites are referred to alpha tests. So when these conditions are satisfied, only we will go to the alpha testing. Then when we will stop, or the exit criteria is, we get the responses from the customers. When a report on the serious bugs, if there are any identified, if there are any noticed, we will stop. And these bug fixing issues are to be notified to the developers. Notify the bug fixing issues to the developers. Then beta testing. The product should be complete, usable, and it should be ready for production. Finally stage, it should be ready, and we should be able to release the product at the end. At that instance only we can start the beta testing. Beta versions are released to limited audience of outside the company or open public. Who are these limited audience? Who are familiar with such environments. We will release the product to the people who are familiar with such environments or who are used to use such products. For such set of people, we will release the product. So this is generally constrained to black box testing techniques. So as people check for the functionalities only. So generally constrained to black box techniques. So when do we perform? What are the guidelines? This is performed 1 in 2 weeks. So we will plan for beta with a maximum of 4 releases. 4 beta releases only. Any small feature added during the beta process, so we have to trace back to the beginning of 8 weeks and we need another 4 releases. So if at all some small feature to be added, we will trace back to the beginning of 8 weeks and again we have to perform 4 releases. That is beta testing. So alpha testing, bring the customer to your site, to the tester site. Beta testing, release the product onto the customer's site. When do we begin beta testing? All the responses from the alpha sites should be positive. Customer bugs in alpha testing has been addressed. If at all there are certain concerns in the alpha testing sites, those have to be. After addressing those, we will proceed to beta testing. No fatal errors. We should not have any fatal errors which are critical, which can affect the functionality. Those should not be there. Secondary platform compatibility testing is complete. So primary platforms, the alternative platforms also have to be, compatibilities have to be tested. Regression testing corresponding to bug fixes. So after fixing the bug, we will retest our product again. So that phenomenon is called regression testing. So after the regression testing, if it is done, we will go with beta testing. Beta sites are ready for installation. When the customer sites are ready for installation. The exit criteria, you have to get responses from the beta testers, the class of users. Prepare a report of all serious bugs if reported and notify them to the developers. So this is the exit criteria for beta testing. So this is what we have seen with reference to the alpha and beta testing. So with this we conclude the validation activities. So unit validation, integration testing, function testing, system testing and acceptance testings are done. Thank you.